Bitcoin is a digital currency. It can be very useful for people in areas where access to banking is an issue. But according to Jeffrey Robinson, it also might be custom-made for terrorism. He's the author of the book called BitCon-The Naked Truth About Bitcoin. Welcome back.
Good to see you, as always.
Now, I want you to get into what Bitcoin actually is for our viewers who don't know, but from what I understand also, this used to be the currency of choice for drug dealers, is that true?
Well, it is the currency of the dark web, which is where you buy all of your drugs, arms, kiddie porn, anything else you want. You can hire people to murder people. I mean, and Bitcoin is the currency of the dark web. I don't blame Bitcoin, though, for being used by bad guys, because dollars are used by bad guys, too.
Well, absolutely. But how does
Bitcoin makes
work?
it easy. Well, what Bitcoin, there are two things. Bitcoin is a technology which allows you the direct and frictionless transfer of any asset from person to person without a third party. It is verified without a third party. That's fascinating stuff.
Yeah.
That is really fascinating. At the same time, it is a currency, because the currency is used by this blockchain technology. And the currency, I call it a pretend currency, because it doesn't meet any of the criteria that modern economics uses to define currency, nor is it a real commodity, yet it's traded like a commodity. So I call it a pretend commodity. And the commodity market, the buying and selling of Bitcoins, is a pump and dump scam. It is really something that needs to be regulated.
Well, this is kind of terrifying here. The Wall Street Journal reports that by the end of this year, there will be about 8 million Bitcoin trading accounts called wallets. What is that?
Well, the wallets are where you keep your digital currency. Now, here's my problem with a lot of the reporting that goes on. There is hype, spin, misinformation galore. Yes,
oh, no.
There are going to be 8 million wallets. What the Wall Street Journal is not saying is that most of those wallets are empty.
Wow.
Most of them are empty. There are only about 250,000 people, according to Coinometrics in the UK, only about 250,000 people who hold Bitcoins. Now, let me put that into perspective. There are more members of the Kuwait Airways Frequent Flyer Club than people holding Bitcoins.
Really?
Yeah. On a global scale, Bitcoin is actually a non-event.
All right, okay, Mr. Robinson, then this question comes at you then. If that's the case, what would the advantage of any terrorist using Bitcoin? Explain that.
The same advantage the criminals would have. You can't launder money with it because it doesn't change it, but it allows you to move this money pseudonymously, or actually anonymously for the most part. I can send it to you, and there is a record of the transaction, but there's no record of my name or your name. It's just a bunch of numbers. So nobody knows who's moving it. Now, the problem that ISIL will have, and they have said that they would accept Bitcoins, and they've made this statement, they would accept it because it falls in bounds with the Quran's definition of banking. So Islamic banking, according to ISIL, Islamic banking
they're just using the Quran to suit their own needs no matter what it is.
Of course they are. But the point is, what it would require would be somebody to take a sum of dollars, convert them into Bitcoins, which in this country and in England and in most countries you have to do under regulated exchanges, and then move it to ISIL. ISIL will now have Bitcoins, which they can't spend any place. They would have to then get out of Bitcoins and into some form of fiat currency.
Jeffrey, this is fascinating and terrifying at the same time.
It's scary.
I guess the question is, how can this be regulated in any form of fashion?
Well, the New York State Department of Financial Services is going to try and regulate the buying and selling of Bitcoins and the use of Bitcoins in business. Not the technology, but the currency. Because the Bitcoin world will tell you, and part of the misinformation to drum up the price, that it is the currency that's going to change the world and it will topple the U.S. dollar. Well, that's delusional. I mean, there's just no way this is ever going to happen. There's so few people are using it. And as I said, on the global scale of weighted currencies, Bitcoin's a non-event. And right now, I think the market cap's a little under $5 billion.
Okay.
Just to put that into perspective, this year alone, 2014, Parker Brothers will print $65 billion worth of monopoly money. So, which is more important in the scheme of the world?
Maybe not Bitcoin, but here's the thing, though. We're talking about this now on Arise Review, and we focused on this Bitcoin thing and a number of other Arise Exchange, a few of other shows. I mean, it's gaining some momentum. It's gaining some teeth. The question, well, hold on. Well, the question is, Do you think that the terrorists will take this to task and say, hey, maybe this is the way we should start trading, regulating, and doing our business more so than the traditional methods of laundering?
No, because again, it doesn't launder the money. It doesn't change the
I understand that, but yeah.
Okay.
Right.
No, I don't think it's practical for the terrorists. I don't even think it's practical for you and me, frankly, because it's a fairly clumsy way. It moves the money, but getting in, what's called the on-ramp, and getting out, the off-ramp, is difficult. And there's really nobody who accepts it. Honestly accepts it and takes it. Yes, the Bitcoin people will tell you there are 63,000 businesses that'll take it, but none of them want it. They all get rid of it right away. I mean, again, to put it into perspective, the market cap at $5 billion means that it can't even stand toe-to-toe with the non-convertible Cuban peso.
Well, look, I hope you're right about that, but it's still fascinating at the same time.
Oh, it is fascinating.
And terrifying.
And digital currencies are the future, just not Bitcoin.
Jeffrey Robinson, as always.
My pleasure.
Wealth of information. Thank you.
Thank you. Good to see you.